The 20th of January. It is 7 p.m. and you know what that means? Well, for the second week running, it is a live stream at 7 o'clock. It's Relegation Rhythm. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. To say it was our first show last week. We have been pre-recording a lot, but it was our first live show this week. Last week, a lot of you enjoyed it. So please indicate that you are enjoying it by heading over to Joe's channel, which is in the title, and then Hammer's chat in the description as well, and slap a like on the video. Gio, better than last week, mate. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm perky, actually. I'm feeling quite good. Beating Tottenham is going to do that to us, though, isn't it? And, you know, both of our teams got a last-minute winner, and there's no sweeter way to win a game of football than scoring the 90th minute, is there? Because you get that extra high. If you score in the, say you make it 2-1 or you made it 1-0 on this 65th minute, you've got half an hour of all sorts of emotions as you try and see out the win. So by the time you get to full time, there's almost a bit of relief as well as happiness. But when you score in the last minute, there's no need for relief. You've just won the game. You just get to buzz and just remain buzzing. So I think I'm feeling really good, actually. You know, obviously, you scored just before we did. So it didn't really take the shine off it for me. I already knew you'd won the game.
You killed my mood.
Yeah, I bet it was a bit of a blow for you, but it was more watching Forest not get beaten by Arsenal that was a bit of a blow. Yeah. However, you know, when you've gone 10 league games without a win, 11 league games without a win, I'm just going to allow myself to feel positive and happy this week rather than worry too much about what could happen or what will probably happen. I'm just allowing myself to be in a nice little positive. I'm a little positive panda this week, Connor.
Yeah, so you should be, mate. I mean, I remember after we lost to City and we had that just slight encouragement from that last 45, and then obviously we've gone on this run where we've lost like 1 in 10. It is crazy what like a win can do to you in terms of that trampoline effect. But I told you beat them. I said it. I had 20 quid on it. I knew you were going to beat them. I don't know why. My old man rang me afterwards. He was like, why were you so adamant about that result? And I went, I just had a feeling for about 2 weeks when I was going through the fixtures, West Ham, Spurs. I think people just gloss Spurs up because they're part of this big six, which they shouldn't be anyway, but they're part of this big six. And it's, you know, West Ham are going to roll into town. And I think you probably went into it feeling from a general perspective, maybe a little bit overlooked really when it came to West Ham.
Yeah, but deservedly so. It was justified. It's not like I felt like there was a level of arrogance pro Spurs. I think Spurs fans were anti-Spurs and West Ham fans were anti-West Ham.
What a concoction.
Yeah, so like both sets of fans thought we'd lose.
Just a stadium of hate.
Yeah, so I wasn't too, you know, if people thought Spurs would win, I wasn't offended by it because I could hardly point to anything and say, this is why you're wrong, other than Dr. Tottenham. And also, we do all right against Spurs. We do usually get ourselves up for it. You know, the first team to beat them in their new stadium and stuff like that. And our record against Spurs over the years, I think in their new ground, only 3 teams have beaten Spurs more than West Ham. So
really,
yeah, we're doing all right there. It's turned to a place that we're capable of getting 3 points. But it was a really good performance. So the first half we were excellent. Second half not so much. But a really important win. And I'm hoping the boys now, the training ground will be a much better place. That's 2 weeks now. Beat QPR in the FA Cup, beat Spurs. That's 2 weeks. The training ground should be positive. And that's a lot, bear in mind. It's been miserable since the first day of the season. We had that back-to-back against Burnley and Newcastle. That would have been nice as well. But apart from that, there's been no other time in our season where it's been good at the training ground. Can you imagine going to work miserable? Because it's possibly been like that all season, bar that occasion and now this occasion. That we've got to just try and keep running with it, and hopefully we'll be all right. But yeah, all good.
Yeah, 100%. And I think maybe, I guess the conversation naturally arcs. You were asking me last week about you know, Callum Wilson, and there's been a lot of rhetoric. I've commented on it several times about him potentially leaving the club. It looks like from what we see now, it's a sort of ever-changing story, but he's going to be sticking around. It's got to be an injection, that, hasn't it? Surely.
It's relief because Nuno was asked immediately after the game. He was very vague with his answers. He wouldn't commit to Wilson staying. And the interviewer, I don't know who he was, but fair play, because he asked 3 questions about Callum Wilson. Normally they ask one and it's quite a vague question. Then they just leave it. They don't get the answer to one. He kept going back. He went back and he went back again. I was like, good, this guy is trying to get an answer. And he just put it as plain as you could and said, will Callum Wilson be here at the end of the transfer window? That's my kind of interviewer. That's the kind of questions we need more of in football. Just yes or no. Give us an answer. Nuno couldn't give a yes or no, but you could see him taken aback with a question and you could almost hear the cogs in his brain going. But then it's come out that the board are now saying, no, we're keeping Wilson. It doesn't matter what Nuno wants, which it's the right decision. I just wish we didn't have to do this thing where they leak the fact that Nuno doesn't want him. It could have been handled in private. It's not. It's in the public domain again. But the good news is Callum Wilson's staying. And I think this is going to sound silly given all the other strikers in the league. I think he's one of the best strikers to have on the bench in the Premier League.
Yeah, you phrased that right. I thought you were going to go somewhere else with that.
No. But like, if you take like a really good club like Aston Villa, obviously they may get Tammy Abraham, but at the weekend they didn't have a striker on the bench, full stop. But they did. Wilson would have made a difference to Aston Villa at the weekend.
It's such a great position for him to be in as well, isn't it? He's in a position right now where it's like, I've got guaranteed goals. You look at my career, I've proven it wherever effective I've been, especially when I'm fit. Bournemouth, Newcastle, West Ham to an extent so far. And this is the kind of thing, is it? He's got the pick of the bunch, really. It's just, like you said, if Villa came in and offered him something, once again, a pay-as-you-play thing, but you're at Villa as a sort of rotation option, help us get into that Champions League phases, or some of them are still talking about league competition, which I don't think will happen, but still, that's where he holds all the cards, really. But, mate, what's it done with the mentality then? Is it all now like, it's funny, I've seen Wolves fans, which has made me laugh. There was a Wolves, and I've done some predictions, which you might have had a look at, which are hilarious, but I don't know how I got to these predictions, but still. But Wolves fans are now predicting the rest of the season, and there was one guy who said they were going to go 16 unbeaten, and he'd genuinely gone through the fixture list and draw, win. From a West Ham perspective, is there like a dose of realism? But I've said on social media, literally half an hour ago, I was talking to a lad on socials, and I said, are we looking at, a relegation battle of the ages? And maybe it's not going to be a battle, but maybe it's going to be points total. And he said to me, look, it's West Ham are cut adrift. And I thought, when you've got 16 game weeks left, you've got 5 points between you and the team that's keeping you adrift. How can that be classified as that? How can you be quantified? Yeah. It's impossible, isn't it?
Yeah, I agree. Listen, probability is we're still the one that goes down. Right, mathematically, it's in favour of Forest staying up, and it's even more in favour of you staying up. I can accept that. But we've just got to stay in it. We've just got to make it a fight, make it a battle. That's our job, because we were cut adrift and we've cut it back by 2 after 1 week. So why can't we do it again? Sunderland at home this weekend, not an easy fixture, but if we can get something out of there. Then there's Chelsea one, which is a little bit annoying, but then it's Burnley. So we've got to be trying to get 6 points in the next 3 games, I think, and just put the pressure on Forest. You've got a very difficult February coming up, like a really difficult February, and you've got a great buffer at the minute between yourselves and us. It's a good points tally, but February is the month that you could easily go without winning a game of football, and all we've got to do is win 2, and we've closed that gap massively. And that's if we just keep it the same between now and then. All we have to do is just stay in there and just try and just make it a fight. And like every week I'll keep reminding you in here, that match day 38, we don't need to catch you, but week 37, we just need to be 2 points behind you, and then it's a playoff.
Yeah, I think what I would see and what I would sort of look at when it comes to Leeds in particular is, I think at the minute, we could pretty much take on anyone. I think that's kind of the vibe that I'm at right now. I think from that Newcastle game, we saw Leeds actually playing on the ground, and Sunderland where we're playing on the ground. And, I think people have this sort of mentality now that Leeds are like a hoofball team. I think we're mixing it up really well. I think as well, you look at Facundo Buonanotte, and I know we had a little bit of a chat about it. It kind of advances that conversation again of us being able to have the ball on the floor, pass it around, but also facilitate DCL and potentially Jorgen Strand Larsen as well, who knows. But it just feels like at this moment in time, against a lot of the big boys in this division, even when we've come up against, these tough games, we've been quite resilient. And I think West Ham and Forest, if it's we are in it, obviously, but to drag us even further in it, I think there needs to be loss, and West Ham, well, it does, doesn't it? It needs to be win, maybe draw, and you kind of need to see Leeds go on a bit of a losing run. And I feel at the minute, Leeds we're going to just keep on picking up points, if you will, even if it's not 3. That's kind of the mindset I'm in, but I know it can change very, very quickly.
It's a very justified mindset, though, Connor, because the league table says we're all right. Your form table says we're more than all right. You're very justified to think like that. But I just wonder if...
What gives you that? I feel there's a bit of encouragement with Leeds from you. What gives you that encouragement? Is it the fact that we've got you on the last day of the season? You think you can just rope us in a bit?
That's always been the thing I've been looking at, thinking, right, we can just reduce this a little bit.
Yeah.
And I just wonder how, if you get a bad defeat or a bad game, what that's possibly going to do. I think it's maybe just me. I just don't trust Farke. I don't trust him. I still, it's bias on my part. I think he's a fantastic championship manager. I've just never been convinced he'd be good enough for the Premier League. And at the minute he is, but I feel like when you changed it up against City, it was almost done. Like it was almost like reluctantly done. And you've mentioned since then, he spoke about how it's not necessarily how he wants to play football, the way that you're playing at the minute. So if you were to continue playing the way you are, and you were to lose a game or two, would he stick with what's currently working for a third game, or would he go back to what he thinks is the best way? And I think that could be where, because at the minute, it's when you're winning games, it's really easy to pick your next team.
Yeah.
Right? You just pick what's working. You don't have to think about what do I change in order to improve, or how do I break this bad habit we're in, how do I stop this, because there's nothing to stop. You just keep doing what you're doing. It's a very easy thing to do. The challenge in football is when you're losing games and you're dropping points, you've got to try new things, and there's only so many things you can try or you want to try, but you've got to try and fix it. And I think this is where, if you lose a couple of games in February, that's where I think the pressure will be on Farke to say, well, how do you fix this? And I'm not sure he will have the answer. I think he might try and go back to what you've seen at the start of the season, where you might go toe-to-toe with teams, and that might be a bit naive. But at the minute, it's working. I just need it to stop working for a couple of games. And then that mental test for Farke is what I'm hoping causes you a little bit of bother. And listen, I am scraping the barrel here. I'm well aware of it. But that's all
You've come out fighting, Gio. You've come out fighting.
It's all I've got, right? I've only got hopes and
dreams.
Yeah, I don't even have dreams. They're gone. I've just got hope. All we have to do, annoyingly, the weekend we win, the other 4 in the bottom. Well,
yeah, it's always the way, isn't it? It's always the way.
Yeah, Bournemouth as well. So it's the bottom 6 teams of the Premier League didn't lose this weekend. I mean, that just doesn't happen, does it?
No.
So, but it's going to give us all a confidence boost and give us all a kick up the arse. And I think it might make teams fear us a little bit in the second half of the season compared to the first half, because you won't look at Leeds and go, oh, it's only Leeds. You go, oh, it's Leeds, Christ.
Yeah.
So I think you might see teams be a little bit more cautious of you, a little bit more switched on to you as we get later on in the season, and perhaps some of them underestimated you up until now. And I don't think that will continue to happen. It's like Sunderland. I think teams underestimated Sunderland. Even for a little while, it felt like teams were looking at Sunderland going, oh yeah, it's a purple patch. But now they're realizing and accepting actually it's not. They're just a good team. So let's approach them and give them the respect that they deserve.
Yeah.
And that means not.
So are you still thinking it's going to be a tall order then? We need. I think we need You said, because you said last week it was something like you think you need, and I totaled this up the other day as well, because I did a table predictor, and I mean, yeah, Leeds. I thought it was harsh to Leeds. I did, but I gave us 5 wins, all of them coming at home. I gave us 6 draws and 5 losses, and that's kind of the form we're in right now. But even when I dropped like a win into a draw, it was still like quite a healthy position. And I gave West Ham a lot. I was trying to be really, really nice to West Ham to see how much it would take, and it was a lot. Do you know what I mean? And it was still sort of West. I think I had West Ham. I messaged you, and I think I had West Ham finishing on like it was like 32, 33, which is still from where West Ham are right now. It's a right points haul that, and it'd put you probably in the first top 10, 12 in terms of form in the Premier League, really.
Yeah, I agree. I think you need 10 wins to stay up this season, and then you'd probably pick up 8 draws. So 38 a point per game. Pretty much all season, the team that's been 17th has been tracking that point per game.
Yeah.
Played 20, got 20 points. Played 12, got 12 points. And it's had them just in 17. So I think you're going to need 38 points to stay up. Anything less, you'll be very, very lucky. And I don't think you'll need more. I think you'll just need 38. But that means we need 6 more wins, and we've got 16 games. So is it possible? Well, yeah. But is it likely? No. And my issue, Connor, isn't just the fact that we need to win games. It's what games you win as well. And that's why the defeat against Nottingham Forest was massive, because had we won that game, we'd be above them today. They'd have 3 less points. We'd have 3 more points, 6-point swing. We're 5 points behind them currently. That's why that game was really, really tough, because I would have rather had beaten Nottingham Forest and beaten Spurs.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, there's a mentality switch there as well, isn't there?
It's a 6-point swing. So that game was the one that when we go down, that's the game I'll look at probably the most this season and think that's where we done it. That was our chance. That was our last chance, maybe. But we just got to make it a fight.
I think the big thing as well with Forest now is, and this was kind of something that I was sort of looking at, and he was really coming into his pomp for Dyche. Sangari's back now. And I thought, I mean, even at the weekend, that Forest game, I thought you at least had a little bit more expression and a little bit more maybe guile going forward from like Elliot Anderson, who I thought was brilliant, and then Morgan Gibbs-White, because they had that real solid protection in behind them. So I wonder if that's going to elevate their midfield a little bit. But
they're bringing in that giant, aren't they?
Yeah,
that 6'7" striker from Napoli.
Yeah,
I mean,
Luca. Yeah. He's not got a great record though, but yeah.
Yeah, but come on, Dyche bringing in a 6'7" striker with Hudson-Odoi, Hutchinson, and Doy on the wings, and long throws and set piece. Oh,
so when you're looking at that January conversation, then obviously it's gone kind of quiet, hasn't it, on a centre back? Charlie Cresswell's at Toulouse. There's been conversations about him going to Wolfsburg. Where are West Ham at now when it comes to transfers? Is there anything rumoured or
just bitching?
Discontent between the board and the manager, sort of thing.
Yeah, but it's not just a bitching. It's telling everyone they're bitching as well. It's
always the right way.
Oh, I hate it. Honestly, I absolutely hate it. It's just we've got such an ugly culture at the club, Connor, where nothing can stay secret, and the minute the manager so much as disagrees with one thing the board suggests, they run and tell everyone about it and sort of throw the manager under the bus. And it's just because it's come out that we want a centre back, but we're waiting on Nuno to decide it's his fault. And I'm not buying it, because Potter 2 cages, apparently Lopetegui 2 cages, Moyes 2 cages. Oh, every manager seems to take ages. I'll tell you what I believe it is, that the board go to Nuno and go, do you want this crap centre-back or this crap centre-back? And he goes, neither. And they go, everyone, Nuno doesn't want a centre-back. He doesn't want a centre-back. He's being picky. No, he doesn't want your crap that you're trying to offer up to him. Because what's funny is, literally the first day of the window, we had a striker flying over for his medical, right? New Year's Day, he had his medical. So he was quick to make his mind up with what 2 strikers he wanted, and they were signed in the first few days of the window. But yeah, apparently on the 20th of January, he hasn't decided what centre back he wants, or he has, and you just don't want to pay for him. It's just we've got into the period now of ugliness, and this is going to go on for a few more days, and it'll get to the end of the window, and Sullivan will just go into panic mode and bring in what he can, and it'll be some.
I've always felt like that with West Ham. It's always like in that January period, Sullivan gets to a point, doesn't he? And he's like, right, I need to do something now. And then you'll get someone in. It's short-term thinking, isn't it? It's never long-term.
Yeah, well, look at the summer transfer window. We sold a Gerd for 25 million and loaned in Igor from Brighton to replace him.
He doesn't play, does he? He's never played.
No, he didn't. No, Potter didn't want him, and Nuno don't want him. Neither of them play him. But Creswell was there for about 15 million. We'd sold someone for over 50 million and just still went and got the loan option rather than paying for Creswell.
Did you take Lindelof? Heard something in Lindelof?
That's a load of bollocks because, well, it is. Anyone that's watched Aston Villa this season knows Lindelof's having a really good season. They ain't letting him go. And what would his value be anyway? A handful of million because of his age and stuff. There's no chance. So either
stinks of Axel Disasi, doesn't it?
Yeah, if anyone thinks we're getting Lindelof, they've not watched Aston Villa this season.
He's played well.
And anyone that hasn't watched Aston Villa this season, you shouldn't be wanting their players because you've not watched them. So yeah, I'm not paying any attention whatsoever to that transfer rumor. I think the one that feels most likely at the moment is Disasi from Chelsea. If I had put money on it, it would be get him in on loan.
Yeah.
No,
well,
thank you.
Something I wanted to throw your way as well, and something that we can both kind of have a laugh at.
Tottenham.
Yeah. Are they and could they be? It feels like they're too far. I mean, it's 10 points. We can't be talking about Leeds being at a point where it's 8, isn't it? I mean, we're kind of near to that point, but Spurs, obviously, the massive injury issues, which a lot of them are long term. You look at Kulusevski in particular, Maddison, a lot of them are long term. They looked horrific at the weekend. They just look awful at home. I think their home record's as bad as yours, which to say West Ham's has been that bad all season, it's as bad as West Ham's. It appears to be even worse recently. And obviously they've got Europe starting, haven't they? They've got Dortmund, they've got Frankfurt coming up, I think next week or the week afterwards. They've then got City, they've then got Man United, they've got Chelsea in there, Arsenal in like the next 6 or 7. Is there a genuine possibility I don't know if it's a relegation fight, but is there a genuine possibility that they can be at least in the mix here?
No, I don't think so. I mean, if they were, I don't know, 5 points clear of West Ham at the minute, I'd say they're absolutely in it and they ain't getting out of it. But put it like this, I just had a look at their fixtures and they play Burnley at the weekend.
I don't trust them with that either.
No, neither do I. But I was just thinking, well, if Burnley won, right, then it's hard. Then their next fixtures post Frankfurt, like you said, are City, Man United, Newcastle, Arsenal, Fulham, and then you're into March, right? And there's a possibility they've not won a game between now and then. And then it starts when they have some fixtures at the minute look winnable, like Palace and Liverpool. But what you're asking is, well, if they don't pick up much points in the next 4 or 5 games, then surely the gap will decrease. It's just by how much. And I suppose if they didn't win any of those games and somehow West Ham won a couple, we could be sitting here in March and Spurs are only 5 points ahead of us, and they are in the conversation. So could they get dragged into it? I think they could get dragged into a more embarrassing situation. What about yourself? Do you think they can?
I don't know. It's contextualizing what happens, isn't it? Frank Spurs. I don't know if they're going to be in a fight, but I think they could be. Like, I think Leeds could finish above them. Do you know what I mean? I feel like I feel like Leeds could. I feel like is there a possibility Forest could? It's 5 points. We're talking about 5 points difference between you and Forest. What about Forest and Spurs? It's something Ollie's just said in the comments. It screams 1-0 Burnley. So I don't know. I just find it interesting. I wonder how far they're going to go with this Frank experiment because it feels behind closed doors with Thomas Frank there's a lot going on in the background. We're building. It's a process. It feels very Arteta, but we've seen with like Chelsea and Maresca that if if they just want out, then this process can stop very, very quickly. People don't have the patience anymore for a process, do they?
Yeah, but it's also like, what is your project? What is your process? Because no one can see anything. It's not even like we can get what you're trying to do. They absolutely stink. They are. If I could play any team in Premier League this weekend, it would be Spurs.
Well, you smacked them on XG as well, didn't you? I think you tripled their XG, which for West Ham is quite rare.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, they were awful in the first half. They were better in the second half, but only because we sat back. Had we not sat back, I think we could have. We were genuinely unlucky not to be 2-0 up at half time. The game should have been done in the first half. Honestly, it should have been done in the first half. We carved them open on quite a few occasions, and we've not done that to a team all season, really. They absolutely stink at the minute, but I would genuinely rather play Spurs than Wolves, Burnley, Nottingham Forest, yourself, Bournemouth. Spurs are the team you want to play this weekend. Fortunately for Burnley, they've got the bye in the Premier League.
Charlie says, "Good evening, gentlemen. Connor, your end of season league predictor concerned me as a West Ham fan. Gio, get the disco sperm out. I don't know what that is, but it sounds great, whatever it is.
It's
if you know, you know. What is the disco sperm?
I did a couple of watch-alongs for the under-21s, right? And
I wonder where this is going.
They've been going right, and because everything's been miserable at West Ham, it's just been a miserable time supporting West Ham. And just after Christmas, we went to a friend's house, and I've got, like, for those that are Leeds fans, I've got a 1-year-old, and we obviously took her. Be irresponsible to leave her at home by herself, so we took her with us, and they also have a baby, so the toy box got opened and everything came out, and there was this toy. And I was like, I like that. And they were like, oh, yeah, do you think Grace likes it? I was like, I meant for me. Like, I like it. So I went and purchased one. And I thought, well, what am I going to do with this? So I decided that when West Ham under-21 score, this thing comes out and gets played. And in the live chat, I never named it this. Those in the live chat at the time named it Disco Sperm. And can you see up here, Connor? Can you see this bit up here on the screen?
I don't know if the chat will be able to see it. I can see it, yeah.
Oh, it's all right. I'll move it over. Let me just move it. Can the chat see the plant pot?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Right. You ready for disco? Do you want disco sperm?
Yeah. Give me disco sperm.
Right. Here you go.
Oh God! Not the Undertaker. Jesus, that is terrifying. That is absolutely terrifying. Oh my God. I'm in a trance.
Yeah. So this
Jesus Christ.
this is where's the off button?
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. Okay, just get it. And he's back. Look at that. There you go.
So this jellyfish has been named Disco Sperm by the subscribers. So
there you go.
Don't let that put you off subscribing and coming over. But
need to give that away, I think. Hi Gio, Somerville looks class. Like he'll get into rhythm. He's a bit greedy though. Yeah, that's kind of something that we always had with Somerville. But he's a difference maker. I think I said to you last week, if you get him into the rhythm, he will probably stand out a little bit more than Bowen because he attracts so much. Bowen could really apply the finishing touch to Somerville, just attracting like 2 or 3 players. How he glides with the ball. He's so quick on the ball. You know, a lot of people are quick off the ball. Like we saw with Dorgu at the weekend for Man United against Man City. I think they were just on this counter-attack and Dorgu got to the other side of the pitch in rapid speed. But Somerville can do that with the ball at his feet. It's quite ridiculous.
Yeah, he was incredible in the first half against Spurs. If you want to foul him, you've got to get a yellow card because he travels, like you said, he travels so quick with it. And a lot of players... I use Jack Grealish, and it's possibly a bad example because a lot of players do get booked against Grealish, but a lot of the fouls you commit against him, it's because he's maybe just gone past you or you've gone in the back of him and stuff like that. But he doesn't outrun anyone, Grealish. He doesn't knock it past you and sprint past you. He's just tricky. But and a lot of players get booked for consistent fouling on him.
Yeah.
But with Somerville, when he moves... if you touch him, he goes down because he's moving at such a speed, and you're getting a yellow card. And he's got a couple of players booked in the first half, and then when he was going at it again, they just had to let him go. It was like, who's not on the yellow card? Can someone come and wipe him out? And it's a real big problem. But he's got goals in 3 games now. I'm including the one that was disallowed because, well, I am, because anyone that's played football will know.
But you've just said you lost to Forest, so I don't know if you can counter.
I am counting it.
Fair enough.
He scored and it was disallowed, but
4 points off.
He got the confidence boost of that. Scored against QPR, scored against Spurs. So it's 3-3 now, as far as I'm concerned. And he's a different player in the last couple of games.
Yeah. Top player. Sunderland this weekend then. How are you looking at that? I think me and you have been big sort of admirers of Sunderland. Regis Labrie is just, I mean, what I love about him is he seems to adapt to every single opponent really well. They can make the pitch big. They can make it really compact and tight and small and tough. Sadiqi's back, isn't he? I think their biggest problem, this is kind of the predicament they're in. Their biggest problem this weekend is going to be fitting Diarra in, because obviously they've got Enzo Lefebvre central. So, yeah, I mean, it'd be a brilliant result. I mean, would you take a point now? Or is it must-win territory now?
It's... I think it's a bit of both, really, isn't it? Because you don't want to say no, you wouldn't take a point, because then you do come across a bit arrogant and stuff, but it would depend on the other team's results. So if you said to me, you and Forest lost, then I'd take a point.
Yeah.
But we play first. Yeah. So it's impossible to know. So I think a point would depend on what the results of Nottingham Forest and yourselves were. And if you've got beat, then it's a good point. But if you've won, then it's a bad point. And if you drew, then we're no better off, really. We move on to the following weekend when we play Chelsea, which is a difficult game. So I think I'd like to see us try and win it, though. I think that's what we'll see. Because against Spurs, I felt like we settled for the draw. It's just that Wilson came on and we grabbed that winner. But I think Nuno was okay with the draw. And that worried me because Spurs was a must-win game.
Do you think you're good enough now, Gio? Do you think you're good enough to not just beat Sunderland, but do you think you're good enough to take those scalps that we're talking about that you need to get in the remaining games? Like wins, not draws. Obviously, like we know, draws kind of become a bit redundant at this point, don't they?
No. I think the bar the Wolves game, I've never felt like the boys weren't up for it or anything like that.
Yeah.
And arguably, that's the worst thing. Because if they were not playing for the manager, you could say, well, maybe if we change manager, results will improve because the players might get behind a new guy. But I actually think the players have been given everything in every single game except against Wolves. And I don't know why, but that Wolves game was just weird. But against Nottingham Forest a few days later, the boys were right up for it. Against Spurs, they were right up for it. But we just haven't been good enough. So I think we're trying. The players that we've got are given 100%. But our bench is also not good enough for the Premier League, and we could amend that in the transfer window. There's still 10 days left.
Yeah,
but at the minute, I just don't think we're good enough to.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that because I was kind of looking at the Leeds bench at the weekend, and it was, you kind of look at Leeds this in the Premier League, and you think to yourself, it's going to take a few years to really build up that depth. But I'm just going to reel a few names to you. And we had Biol and Stack were out for this one, but Facundo Buenanotte, Peru, Longstaff, Perry, Nonto, Tanaka, Mecha, Bornau. So I was kind of looking at that bench at the weekend, and say we had like 2 absentees as well, 2 of our best players. I did look at the bench and I thought, you know what? Maybe the rhetoric's a little bit different. You've got Dan James coming back as well. Maybe kind of we do look at the squad, and it's actually not a bad squad when you're thinking at Premier League level, and especially how we're playing right now, which can get us. I don't know if West Ham's similar with this, or even if Forest is similar with this, but I think the players that have come in, like James Justin, who's come in and looked brilliant. You've had Bornau, who's come in at Liverpool away, looked brilliant. You're looking at some of the Eli Gruev, who's come in, who's looked really good in midfield as well. Brendan Harrison stepped up, and there's an argument he's kind of been out the squad at points this season. Darlow, another one. It feels like everybody who's coming in is making the grade, and I think that's I don't know if it's similar with West Ham, but it feels like that depth is required in a Premier League season, isn't it, Gio?
Yeah, but we don't have it. That's my issue with West Ham. We don't have that depth. If you look at our bench at the weekend, we had Callum Wilson, we had no attacking midfielder, no winger on the bench. We've got I think we've got good squad depth in the middle of the pitch. We've got Potts, Souček, Fernandez,
I
who was
Potts.
incredible, and then Magassa's looked okay. But our defence as well, Todibo and Mavpanos played really well against Spurs, but I wouldn't want to see Max Kilman play. Terrible, absolutely terrible footballer. But we are lacking that squad depth, and I think this is where our board need to be really embarrassed on Saturday, because Sunderland have got a better first 11 than us and a better bench than us. They only got promoted. So how's that happened? How have we been in the Premier League for over a decade, and we've got a weaker squad than a newly promoted side? And that's where the embarrassment factor should be for the board of West Ham United. It won't be, because they'll blame everyone but themselves. Like, oh, he's wasting money. Look at the players he signed. It's never their fault. It's everyone else's fault. And they'll do the whole, oh, well, we're going to have to fix it. But they're incapable of fixing it. And it's their own mess. They just don't think it's their own mess. But it is. But our squad depth isn't good enough. But saying that, I mean, did you see Everton's the other day? Jesus, they only had 8 players on the bench for starting. 2 were keepers, and like 3 of them were youngsters. So they're lacking players. Bournemouth have got no players.
Yeah, I think I think interestingly as well for Everton, Grealish is out for the next however many weeks because of I think he's got seen a foot specialist or something like that. And then, but I think Branthwaite's back in team training. Garner's back.
Dye's back.
Yeah, and Dye's back. Yeah, Dewsbury Hall's light training. So I think they will be getting a few players back. But it's going to be fascinating to see how this moves. Like I say, it's nerve wracking. I think there's a lot of Leeds fans who are very much like, are we safe now? I'll never be like that as a Leeds fan. We're 2 points off. We're 3 points off, like 12th or whatever it is, 13th maybe.
I just wish that we had an extra couple of wins on the board, because if we did,
oh god,
you could look at Spurs, and you know what? You could look at Crystal Palace and say, "You come here, get in this let's drag them in it as well." I think they're just too far ahead, and that's the frustrating thing, because I think there's a couple of clubs hovering above you that are just ripe for getting dragged into the relegation battle.
It's just they're a little bit too far ahead.
I think come the end of the season, I wouldn't be surprised if it's not. Let's just say we go down. I wouldn't be surprised if yourselves and Nottingham Forest are not 16th and 17th. That is actually a Crystal Palace and someone else that are actually there. Yeah. So someone did drop in, but we just weren't close enough in order to try and make it a fight with them. I think that's my frustration at the minute, that we just don't have enough points to turn it into a real battle with someone. But that all we can do is hopefully beat Sunderland, put the pressure on yous, hopefully at least one of you drop points, but also just to make you feel the pressure. I just don't want, the last thing I want as a fan, Connor, is that we give up and after another couple of games,
like a level of apathy, sort of.
Yeah, it's just completely done. You can all relax. I want you, every Nottingham Forest fan, every Leeds United fan, every Bournemouth fan, Palace fan, Spurs fan, I want you all looking over your shoulder, shitting yourself because West Ham are picking up wins you're not expecting. That's what I want. I want you to think, fuck, they're not out of it.
Yeah.
Fuck, they're not out of it. Another week, go, oh, fuck, they're not out of it. That's what I want you to feel. I want you to feel pressure from us, but it's up to us. It's not in our destiny anymore. It's not in our hands. But if we can just get a couple of unexpected results in the next few games and just make everyone above us shit themselves a little bit, that'd be nice. It'd be enjoyable. I think we as a fan base accepted relegation amongst us. We've accepted that we're probably going down, but we don't want to give up, right? I don't think anyone else has done that yet. Burnley and Wolves, yes, but I mean above us. So I like the fact that some of the Leeds fans are getting relaxed, and I understand why. But I want them. It's up to us now that come the end of February, you're going, oh, Fuck.
Well, I guess it's
Where did
three.
they come from?
I guess and I don't have this confidence, but I think the confidence with a lot of Leeds fans is the fact that you'll need effectively like 3 wins on top of us dropping a fair few points, and I think that's kind of where Leeds fans are at, or some are anyway. As you said, I'll never be because of just us historically. Yeah,
2 wins. 2 wins. We don't need to overtake you. Because that match day 38, we do not need,
and then just keep it the same in terms of points until the end, and nothing changes.
We need to win 2 more games than you between now and the end of match day 37. It's not 3, it's 2. Our 3rd game will be against you.
Yeah. I think how I look at it is with sort of us having Brentford at home, Wolves at home, Burnley at home, Brighton at home. I do look at those and I think we'll have enough. I think Leeds probably need 3 wins. I think we probably need 3 wins and a fair few draws. And I think we might be okay.
I think you'll be okay as well. I'm almost secretly hoping that the Forest owner just does something stupid at some point soon.
It's funny how it works though, isn't it? Like at some stage, and it's kind of like with Sullivan. I know Ryan's just mentioned it. I think it's come from your channel as well. He's been here a couple of weeks now, Ryan, but he was mentioning that you know, championship bits and stuff. If you ran by a basket case, you know, the fish rots from the head down, and at some point that is going to catch up. It is going to catch up, whether it's this season, next season, the season afterwards. If you're still in charge, it will happen. You can't keep chancing. You can't keep playing on the heartstrings of the fans as well. And I think that's the issue, isn't it? That's always going to be the issue with West Ham. Can you, even next season, it's like, oh, if staying in the Premier League, what's going to happen? It's just so unpredictable, isn't it?
Yeah, we'll be here. If we were to stay out, we'll be here this time next season having the same conversation.
Which is killer, isn't it? It's killer because as a football fan, you want hope, don't you? You want prosperity at some stage. It's like if you kind of know next season, and Spurs are very dangerous, aren't they? They're at that point where it's like if they get dragged into it again, then is this going to start becoming a theme? So
yeah, I'm hoping if we do stay up, though, I'm hoping that they realise that was a close shave. We better sell up now. I'm hoping that's what would happen, but we'll wait and see.
Yeah, definitely, mate. All right then, guys. Well, we will leave it there. Ryan's just said, thing is, though, if it does come down to the last game of the season against Leeds, then we're at home, and I think that gives a disadvantage. Yeah, I mean, we're not amazing away. I think I was saying the other day, Ryan, and obviously Gio, I think I was saying I would expect us to go down there and get something from West Ham. I'd expect, even if it's not a win, I'd expect us to maybe get a point. And I think we'd be good enough to get a point down the London Stadium. Whether or not that's good enough for West Ham, I'm not sure. But Leeds also, oh God, yeah, I forgot we've got Forest at home as well. See, Forest at home, I can't see that being a win for Leeds. I can see that being a really tight draw. Both teams not wanting to lose. So yeah, it's going to be fascinating to see how these little battles go. Right, listen, all of you, go check out Tartan Geo for your general bits and bats as well. There'll be Leeds conversation over there as always, and Hammers Chat, which is thriving at this moment in time. Thank you, all of you, for coming on to the live and all this sort of stuff. Seeing a lot of regular names on here, and we will be building this every Tuesday at 7 p.m. GMT. It's been a pleasure. Gio, thanks for joining me.
It has been a pleasure indeed. Thank you for hosting. I'm enjoying this, so it's nice. It's therapy.
I always seem to just be you always, at the end of it. You always seem to just be leveled up. So I don't know what it is that I'm doing, but maybe
it's because I can't sit still, so I sit on my foot a lot, and B, I don't know. I think it's just sometimes I can see the live chat, and there's always a nervous Leeds fan in the live chat.
Always.
And that gives me hope. I can see one person quivering that you might get dragged into it. I'm thinking, yeah, come on, thank you very much.
People like myself been like, Gio, no, do you think you're done? Please tell me you're done. Thanks, guys, and we will see you on the other side.